We're being honest, Nikola has had a very, very good past couple of weeks. What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Before we get started and talking about all the good stuff in the EV market, in the three stocks that you can see by the title that we're really going to be comparing and breaking down today, I need you guys to drop a sub and leave a like. We are doing a giveaway once we get to 250 subs, so might as well get yourself in on a chance to win an Amazon gift card coming up on the holidays. So yeah, let's just hop into the vid. So with the news that Tesla is now going to be included into the S&P 500 on December 31st, it's no surprise that that stock has taken off because a lot of analysts and everything, this was kind of 1 quarter delayed for them. So you're seeing now the hype kind of ramp back up for Tesla. And it's kind of also carrying all these other EV companies along with them. You've seen NIO have a really good past month. You've seen Nikola. I mean, if we're being honest, Nikola has had a very, very good past couple of weeks. They have really bounced off those all-time lows, and they're actually back to around the same levels where, Trevor Milton made his exit and the company stock really took a massive hit. Now, there's obviously still a lot of questions when it comes to Nikola and kind of the future and game plan and everything like that. But at least for the short term, it seems to be that they are faring the storm fairly well. They are riding the wave of excitement that a lot of institutional investors are out there, buying up these EV companies. So I wanted to look at these three companies, kind of compare the current state and where we think they might go from here and which ones are the safest plays and which ones are potentially going to offer us the most gains in the long term. So the first one, let's talk about the big boy Tesla, kind of the one that paved the way for all these other EV companies. I think Tesla is obviously the strongest company out of NIO and Nikola. So if you include those three, Tesla is by far the strongest. They have the best sales. They have, in my opinion, the best leadership, definitely the best name recognition. I mean, you can't really go around anymore without, if you go for a 20-minute daily drive, more than likely you are going to see at least one Tesla. So, flash back to 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you could go out several times and never see a Tesla. And then when you saw one, you're like, holy crap, that's a Tesla. That has definitely changed. Tesla is producing at a much faster rate than they have before. The cars are becoming much cheaper. They used to be very, very expensive to own. Now, not so much. There is definitely a lot of talk about getting the price of the car down to $25,000. I don't know if it's going to go that low, but I think the price of a Tesla is going to continue to come down. They really have done an excellent job with marketing and really just the Elon Musk brand altogether. So I think you have all that going for them. Them bringing the price of the cars down, the life of the batteries going up, the ease of charging and everything now. And then you have a lot of states like California basically saying, hey, we're trying to ban all vehicles that are gas or diesel by 2030. So that is another good tick mark really for all these companies aside from NIO because they're, Chinese. But it helps the EVs out. But Tesla is going to probably get the most benefit from this because if we're just looking at scale right now, they are the largest company. They're going to get a massive boost, which you're already seeing from being included in the S&P 500, which is, validation to all these people who have been on the Tesla bandwagon for a very long time. They are an extremely, extremely large company when you look at market cap, and that is going to continue to grow. I think people are going to really treat Tesla as a technology company rather than a car company, because if you're just valuing a lot of these EV manufacturers as car companies, their valuation is insane because, your traditional car companies like Ford, General Motors, Toyota, Tesla is way beyond their valuation right now because people are really, really betting on, not only Elon Musk, but self-driving technology capabilities, the potential to, maybe put, Uber and all these companies out of business because you have now a self-driving, fully autonomous car 20 years in the future where you can just, get on maybe like a Tesla app or something and a car rolls up, doesn't even have a driver, boom, get in, put in your, GPS coordinates and it takes you to where you need to go. So Tesla has a lot of stuff going for it that A lot of these other manufacturers or EVs that are coming onto the market don't. So I think if we have to pick one right now that is obviously leading the way, it's going to be Tesla. Now I want to look at NIO, because NIO, not a lot of people track it, including myself. However, I did buy a few shares of it last week because I was like, okay, why not? Let's get back into the EV market a little bit and just see what happens. So NIO is very, very similar to Tesla in the fact that they have begun producing. They do have revenue. They do have sales and stuff like that. And their cars are on the road. Now, NIO is a Chinese company, and I always get a little sketched out with Chinese companies because if you can remember, there have been instances where, the books have been cooked and, the regulation when it comes to Chinese companies is way, way easier and a lot more loopholes and, a lot easier to lie on your balance sheet than it is in the United States. Now, I know that's very tongue-in-cheek because Nikola is, I'm not saying they're lying on their balance sheet, but a lot of the stuff that they do is kind of, it's misleading to the investor if we're being honest. So I think NIO does run some risk being a Chinese company, but at the same time, if you look at their market, right, if you want, there's no better market, if we're being honest, in the world than China because there's so many people, it's so condensed, and if over the next 10, 15, 20 years, there's going to be any country that is really like targeted by the world to go green, it's going to be China because China is the main producer of greenhouse gases in the world. It's not the United States. It's not these other countries. It's China. China is the number one culprit for greenhouse gases. And if people are going to be pushing global warming and all this stuff and really trying to go EV, China is going to be the main focus for people trying to drive down emissions. So I think the first most logical thing you have to look at is cars and factories and obviously all this stuff. But, since we're talking about cars, NIO is probably going to be first in line to take over much of that car market. So I like NIO. Their valuation is a little much right now because I think that they are, they're not to the same level of Tesla even. As far as recognition and the amount of sales and revenue that they are bringing in each quarter, but it is an interesting company, and I think we're kind of going in the order of companies that I would want to own right now. So you've got Tesla, then you've got NIO, and they have done exceptionally well. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They have pretty much followed the Tesla track for the past several months. Kind of what Tesla's doing, NIO seems to be doing the same as well. Lastly, we have to talk a little bit about Nikola because they have been having an excellent month of November. Like I said, they came off their lows and they're back to the levels where Trevor Milton, the news of him leaving could really brought the stock down. And though there doesn't still seem to be any news in regards to the General Motors deal, the deal has not fallen through yet to this point, but I think the closer we get, it's kind of getting sus, like it's probably not going to happen. Who knows? Maybe it is. General Motors and Ford and all these American manufacturers seem to really, really be pushing EVs hard. There was a lot of confidence coming out of the investors meeting and Nikola that they had sharing their last quarter's results, which is a little surprising. They did beat earnings per share, so that's a good thing. Obviously, they didn't have any revenue, so their earnings per share was still negative, but they did beat investor estimates, so that is good. They have gotten some more institutional investors to come in and invest, so I think people are seeing that kind of as a vote of confidence for the stock. And then you're also getting credit analysts still come out and say, hey, our target price is higher than its current price. So that is, yes, something that is helping the share price along with all these other EVs in the market. As companies rise, so they bring the bottom feeders up too, because hey, if these other companies are being valued extremely high, you got to start valuing the little guys a lot more too. So I think that's what's happening a lot with Nikola. I don't think the fundamentals have changed too much, other than maybe investors are kind of beginning to forget about all the nonsense and stuff that was going on in the past. But you're an idiot if you think history cannot teach you something. So I would still be buyer beware when it comes to Nikola at this point until they prove, and until they start rolling stuff off the assembly line in mass production, it's going to be a show me story. It's going to be a very risky play. So I think until they do that, I'm still going to be steering clear of Nikola. The two companies right now in the EV space that I would really only be looking at is NIO and Tesla. And if you have the dough, I think Tesla is the one to go with. But again, EV, there's a lot of questions. Hey, are we in a bubble? Are we doing this? There's definitely plenty of different sectors to put your money in and make it work for you. I was actually this past weekend looking at just the rate of return for the past 50 years. And it was pretty insane just in the S&P 500. So if you guys are just concerned, this is way too risky for you, just go out and get you an ETF that follows the S&P 500 or a mutual fund or something like that that is extremely diversified. And you are going to make a ton of money and you can sleep way better at night versus just picking and owning a few individual stocks. So that is my 2 cents. And then lastly, before we go, I got to give you today's fun fact. Today in I'm going even earlier than that. In 1888, the first jukebox was played. So that's pretty interesting, man. Kind of the revolution of music and a lot of these, pop culture icons and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you learned something today. If you haven't already, dropped a sub, leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments below, kind of rank your three EVs, Tesla, NIO, Nikola, kind of what order do you have those? And if you had all the money in the world, which one would you kind of put your money in and why? I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you